Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. In this video we are going down the Fun with Jesmonite route. Now some of you may have seen these on my Instagram and I fell in love with these. I actually just did these as a quick thing. I never filmed it and I put photos up on my Instagram. And yeah, it was definitely a video I wanted to do, and someone did say, please do a video on this. And listen, if one person says it, that's enough for me because I loved it so much. So we are going to have fun with Jesmonite, fun with patterns, creating your own and just doing whatever you feel like. So we are going around about the same colours. Now what I am going to do is use some code, but I also feel like I want to try some turquoise in there, and then we're just going to splash and have some fun. But again, choose colours that best reflect your style and anything that really takes your fancy. So the first colour I'm going to use is the code. You would have seen my plant pots. I'm obsessed with this colour, guys. I cannot get enough of it. I'm just going to put a couple of drops into the Jesmonite. Now I'm only mixing minimal amounts of Jesmonite for this video, and I'm making it a tad thicker, so I'm not really measuring. I'm just going by the texture and how it feels to me, adding a bit more powder. If you want dots and things like that, you really need a thick mixture. In my eyes, I mean, I feel like if it's really watery, it will just run wherever it's going to run. It doesn't self-level like epoxy resin, but you still need it a bit thicker for the dots. Now all I'm doing here is making sure that these dots don't touch, even though they end up touching, but that was fine. I cleaned them up with a cotton bud, but I don't want the code to go into the ridges, into the rim of the trinket trays, if that makes sense. I just want them to sit on the surface like this, and this is why honestly making the mixture thick is really going to work in your favour. And at this point I'm just making a mess. I'm literally dripping it everywhere, but I do go back in and I clean up the moulds before I add the next colour. This is what they all look like at this stage. Now I'm going to let this colour, just this layer, dry for around about 10 minutes before I put the next one on. So the next colour we are going to do is the turquoise. I really feel like it's going to go well with that code, and this is 1 part blue to 2 parts green. That is what Google has told me. Now my advice for adding colour like this really would be to use your cocktail sticks, toothpicks, whatever you can get that's not going to give you a lot. You don't want to pour it in, because if you pour it in, that is going to be dark blue. But all we want is to dip the cocktail stick in the blue, scrape it off, and just rub it into the liquid. That is it. I don't want any more than that. That is enough. So into the green. Now the green is thicker. I find the green quite thick, so I'm going to put 1 whole drop in there just to see what colour it gives us. You can see it's gone a little bit turquoisey and I love it. I add a bit more blue. That is very turquoise, almost aqua, but I am going to add a bit more blue. This is when you can go wrong. This is where you could put too much of one colour in and you end up literally with a completely different colour. So I'm going to go back in with my blue cocktail stick. I'm not dipping it into the pot, I'm just scraping it on the lollipop stick that I've already got, just to get some of that blue back in there. So with the turquoise colour, I'm not really aiming for circles. If I get circles, amazing, but it's going to be harder now to get that natural, really neat circle. So I'm just overlapping. I love it when the colours overlap, and I can already see that these are going to turn out very different to the one that I showed on my Instagram. But yeah, you can see I'm just splashing it everywhere. But wherever I drop the drips, then I'm just going in and I'm just adding a little bit more. If you can hear kids playing out on the street, I'm so sorry. I'm doing a voiceover at this point and there are so many children out playing. So yeah, forgive the background noise. And that is it. I'm just going over all 5, just adding the turquoise where I feel like it. And then I just started making random patterns at this point. I was just like, let's just get super abstract and just throw it on, see what happens and see how it all turns out. This colour is stunning. I absolutely adore it. Cannot wait to see the results. So these are all dry now and it is ready for the next colour. I am going to go in with some of the terracotta. I think it's going to really work with them all. And in hindsight, now that I'm doing a voiceover and I know the end results, I actually have left this a lot longer than is ideal. If you are doing this at home, then I would recommend leaving each colour no more than 5 minutes, because what happens is they start to sweat. So if you think about it, that code dried for 10 minutes before I added the turquoise, then the turquoise dried for 10 minutes before I'm now adding the terracotta. So already that code has been there 20 minutes, and that's before the final layer. Ideally, you really don't want it there that long. So in hindsight, if I can give you one bit of advice, would be do it quicker. Do it a lot quicker. So only leave around about 5 minutes between each layer. Should be dry enough for you to continue. Right, I have mixed my black here. It's really quite thick and gloopy. This is the part where you just do what you want, flick it all around. Again, you don't have to do this pattern. This is just showing you what I do. I'm just going to get some on the back of my lollipop stick and splash. Go crazy. I mean, the mess is real. There's no getting away from the fact that this is the messy process, but I am just splashing all over and it is literally going everywhere. I'm trying to stay as close as I can. I'm trying to get some down into those little ridges, the edges of the trays, kind of like get it in there. I just love this so much, so much. There's no rules. The only rule now is to leave that all to dry for around about 10 minutes before you come back in with your final coat. Now what your final coat is entirely up to you. I'm going with natural Jesmonite, no pigment added Jesmonite. Okay, it's now time to fill these up with the natural Jesmonite. Now I have made a huge batch here. That is, each of these molds takes 1 liquid and 250 powder. So I've kind of gone around, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 liquid, I've gone around about 480, because I'm not going to need to fill them up completely. I'm not going to need the entire ingredients. And because I've made such a huge batch, I've added some retarder into this mix because there's so much of it and it's going to go off so fast. I figured a tiny drop of retarder. Again, I didn't measure. I just put a little tiny drop in, and hopefully that's just going to give me more playtime to get the mix utterly mixed before pouring. So I'm just fast forwarding through this section for you. I am filling each of my molds right to the very top. That is preference. A lot of people just fill them with quite a bit of a gap at the top, but for me, I like them to be deep and chunky, and that is what I'm doing. So you can already see the one on the right is overspilling, and that is it. So then I'm going to go and I'm going to tap them all to get rid of those air bubbles on the surface. So it has been half an hour, time to demold. This is my favourite part. Honestly, guys, this is like Christmas every time. You never know what you're going to get. I'm just flicking off all of the excess bits. There's always bits around the edge, especially if you've overfilled, which is kind of what I did on a couple of these. You see here, little excess bits. You can clip them off as you go. What I'm going to do is demold and then sand straight away. So here goes on the first one. We shall see. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. The first thing I'm noticing is there is a little bit of sweat here. I'm going to show you up close. See that dark line? The dark lines? That's a little bit of sweat. Not much you can do about it. I think it adds to it. It kind of gives them a different... It's almost like I've got a pen and I've drawn around. Because these are sitting in the mould for quite a long time, you really should demold after 30 minutes, but I absolutely love it. So I didn't get those marks with these ones, but that is because I wasn't filming, and it's so much quicker to just get the job done. But even having said that, I absolutely adore, oh my gosh, I just love them so much. So I'm gonna demold and then get rid of the bits later. This is the other one with that great big splodge of the turquoise that went down into the lip. I just love, I love. Can I say that anymore? And there's this one. I really like the way that shape came out. Let me know what you guys are thinking at this point. Let me know what colours you would use if you were to do this. I would, oh, Oh, that's my favourite. 100% my favourite so far. Okay, last one, final one, and then I'm just gonna get to sanding. I think pink and turquoise would go amazing. Oh, look at that. I love it. I absolutely love it. So there's definitely been those sweaty marks on here, and really once I've sealed it, I just don't think they're going to be noticed. They're not huge sweat marks. Now I've seen really big sweat marks on some items I've made in the past, and these just really don't. You can see the dark line around here where the two colours have met, and really honestly I don't think it takes away from them. Oh my gosh, I am in love with this. Now, all of these pigments and everything you need to make in this video is available with Polyseal UK. I will be linking them down below. Let me know your thoughts on these. Are they too out there for you? Are they way too wacky and abstract and just not symmetrical? Or do you really love this go with the flow, shove it all in kind of design? Let me know what you think. All I'm going to do now off camera, I'm going to get my nail files. Now I've got a pack of nail files. I will grab them here. These are the nail files that I bought a long while ago. They've lasted really well. I'm going to take a nail file right now. Now the advice is to sand after 24 hours, but I find it easier to sand straight away. So I will just take my nail file. I'll go around the edge. You see there? Round it off a bit. Just round it off a bit. You don't want those sharp edges, especially if you are a small business and you are selling. You don't want your customer to contact you and let you know that, oh, that edge was a little bit sharp. So that's why I'm keeping my gloves on, because the demold for me is always the time where I'm more likely to just get a little cut or a little nick on my finger. But yeah, go around with your file and just take off that rough edge, that sharp edge. I'm not going to sand any of this. I'm going to leave this for 24 hours before I seal. Now, if you want to see how I seal, I will link the video right here. That is my preferred, most successful method of sealing that I have found so far, and I really hope that helps you. But yeah, I will leave you all there. I won't bore you by going around and sanding all of these edges on camera, but I hope you have absolutely loved this video and it's given you some food for thought, some ideas of what you can do with your color. Just be free, have fun with it. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much if you have stayed this long. You are amazing. Honestly, I appreciate you very much. And yeah, take care everyone, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.